Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Nilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are gathered here today to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan. Every day, every moment, we should glorify Ramachandra Bhagavan. But we are busy with so many things. We have so many important things to do. But when we wake up from the dream of Maya, we will know that there is nothing else to do but to glorify Ramachandra Bhagavan. But we can do so also within our family life with our social responsibilities. Ramachandra Bhagavan is the Ayodhyapati. He's the king of Ayodhya. So most of the people in Ayodhya, living under Ramachandra, they are all householders. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, they're all doing their various activities. But they're all focusing their lives on Ramachandra Bhagavan. And from time to time in Ayodhya, you'll see some traveling sannyasi or rishi is coming, some wandering person, aniketa, no home. So by renouncing the world, you can worship Lord Ramachandra Bhagavan. Or by living in family life, you can also do so. But family life means that should be centered on Ramachandra Bhagavan. Today I'm saying Ramachandra Bhagavan. Normally we say Krishna. But we should know that Krishna and Ramachandra are non-different. Different and not different also. Dipachir eva hi dashantaram abhyupetya dipayate vivritta hetu samana dharma yastadrigeva hi cha vishnu taya vibhati govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. The original form of the personality of Godhead is Krishna. But there are many other forms, and the comparison is to like a row of candles which are all lit from one original candle. Deepam, one lamp is. So they all shine with the same light. And if you wouldn't know, they all seem to be the same. You couldn't find out which is original. But still there is an original, and the original is Krishna. So in the same way there are many expansions of Krishna. Ramadi Murtishu, the Rama, Nrsimha, Varaha, Kurma, Vamana, so many avatars are there. They're all eternal. We say Krishna is original, but all these Ramachandra is eternal. So this means that although Krishna is the original, still all the forms are eternal. This may appear to be contradictory, but this is all possible in transcendental time. Sometimes people think, well, Ram came before Krishna. But actually Krishna came before Rama. That's right, isn't it? Krishna came before Rama. What's right? Who came first, Rama or Krishna? What's the answer? Rama came before Krishna, right? Sure. But I say that Krishna came before Rama. Satyam, that Ram came before Krishna. But actually all the ages are going round and round. So Krishna came last, and next will come Rama. In the next day of Lord Brahma, Rama will come, which means Krishna, even in the day of Brahma before that, Krishna came before Rama. And then Rama came, and then Krishna came. Maybe on TV you've seen revolving doors. I don't think anywhere in Salem. Maybe in one of these posh new hotels. They have revolving doors. 4 divisions, and the door keeps on going round and round. So if someone walks in one division and someone walks and they keep on going round and round, who can say which one comes first? And it's all according to our vision anyway, because they're both eternal. But from time to time, they descend on this world. It's just like the sun may be covered by clouds, and then time to time we see the sun. So we may say when the cloud is covering the sun, there is no sun in the sky. Actually the sun is there, but we can't see it. From the sun's perspective, the cloud is completely insignificant. So we should understand these points. But even if we don't understand, we can worship Lord Rama and Krishna and Varaha and Nrsimha, Vamana, and on and on and on. All the same person, but different avatars, different feelings, different moods, apparently different personalities. So Rama, he performs wonderful pastimes. He's very beautiful. Krishna is also beautiful. Varaha Devi is also very beautiful. You won't imagine that any pig can be beautiful. But Varaha Deva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is very beautiful. So Ramachandra is very beautiful. But he only has one wife and no girlfriends. So that's described in Padma Purana that Rama, as he was wandering through the Dandakaranya, some rishis were there and they were very attracted to the beauty of Lord Ramachandra. So they wanted to have a spiritual relationship with him, loving relationship. Female, they wanted to be the wife like that. Now you may say, well, that's very strange. Why would a rishi want to be a wife? But this is in spiritual existence. The attraction to Lord Rama is not a mundane attraction. So Rama, he told them, in this time it's not possible, because I have a vow of only one wife. But next time I come, there's no restriction. So when Krishna came, there are many different groups of gopis. One of them is called the Rishi Chari Gopis. Means that previously they were in Dandakaranya, they saw Rama, they got a benediction from him, that next time you come and see me. There are different groups. There are the Shruti Chari Gopis, the different Shrutis, the different branches of the Vedas. They're personified. They also wanted to worship Krishna very intimately, so they could come as gopis. So when the appreciation of Ramachandra's beauty is perfect, or Krishna's beauty is perfect, and is completely free from any material desire, then one can have a relationship with him in this way. Now what if you think, well, I want to see Rama, I'm particularly attracted to this form of Rama. Just like Hanuman, he loves Rama, I mean, he's not against Krishna or Varahadev or Vamanadev, but there's no Hanuman in, there is in Krishna Lila, but not in the same way as in Ram Lila. How does Hanuman come in Krishna Lila? Can you remember? Flag. Who said flag? Yeah. When Krishna becomes a chariot driver of Arjuna, then on the flag is Hanuman. And just by sometimes he roars and the Kaurava forces just faint on hearing him. So Hanuman, he says, Srinate Janakinate Abheda Paramatmani Tasmat Mama Tatapi Mama Sarvasvam Rama Kamala Lochanam. He says that I know that Srinath, it means Narayana, and Janakinatha, Rama, they are the same non-different Supreme Personality of Godhead. The same, no different. Still, as far as I'm concerned, my all in all, the life of my life is the lotus-eyed Rama. So if one is particularly attracted to the beauty of Rama and wants to serve him in this form, in a female, one can do so also. As a maidservant in the palace of Rama. Now that attraction is completely spiritual. It may be that women, they are attracted to some film star or something like this. But that is mundane. But the attraction to Rama's beauty, that is spiritual. But it can be material also. I'm thinking of who? Some woman is attracted to Rama in a mundane way. Shurpanaka. She wanted to enjoy Rama. She thought, I'll eat Sita and then I'll enjoy with Rama. So that is not a spiritual attraction. I will take Ram for my own enjoyment. But the spiritual appreciation of Rama means that we want to serve him. Hanuman is famous as the great servant of Rama. But there are so many great servants of Rama. What about Lakshman? He could have stayed at home and enjoyed the luxuries of the palace. But he went with Rama. He never slept all the time in the forest. At night he'd stand. The devotees in Ayodhya were upset that Rama, he has to lie down on the forest floor to sleep. But Lakshman, he didn't sleep at all. He would be up all night guarding. He would get all grass and make nice arrangements so that Rama could sleep very comfortably. And Bharat, even though he was offered all the opulence, all the position, he refused. And he thought that if for my sake Rama has to go through so many austerities, then I shall go through more. I should not live a more comfortable life than him. He thought that for me to enjoy the kingdom would be sinful. So as a duty on his order until he comes back, I will rule the kingdom. The king or even the representative of the king lives very luxuriously. But not Bharat. He stayed outside the city. And he, just like a rishi in an ashram, he lived. And he would take very little food every day. And that food was also barley boiled in cow urine, not very palatable. So he showed also, all these devotees in various ways, they showed how to serve Lord Ramachandra. And also Shurpanaka, she showed how not to serve him. That if we desire to enjoy him for ourselves, then we're fit for punishment, that's all. We are meant to serve Sitaram. We cannot banish Sita and take Rama. Or like her brother Ravana, he wanted to take Sita and forget about Rama. But both ideas are demoniac. So the best example in that sinful family was Vibhishana. You may say, well, he's a traitor. I don't know the word in Tamil. Anyone know? Traitor? I don't know the word in Sanskrit either. He's a Swajan Tyaji. He gave up his own people. Swajan Virodhi, an enemy of his own. So Ravana rebuked Vibhishana as being Swajan Virodhi. You've turned against your own family members. But actually Vibhishana, he was the best friend of Ravana. By giving Ravana advice that you just don't try to do anything with Sita. Don't do this. Then even after Sita was kidnapped, then again Vibhishana told, no, you give back Sita. He advised Ravana that only destruction, nothing good can come from trying to keep Sita. But Ravana wouldn't listen. Only Vibhishana, others also told him. Maricha told him, his own wife Mandodari, she told him again and again, by insulting a chaste woman, you can only bring destruction upon yourself. But Ravana didn't listen. So Vibhishana, he did the right thing. He tried again and again and again to rectify his wicked brother. But seeing that Ravana was incorrigible, then Vibhishana joined Rama. So there's so many things to learn from Ramayana, from the pastimes of Lord Rama. That Ramayana is a summary. We'll find little bits and pieces elsewhere also. Just like in the Ramayana that we have in the world at this time, we don't have the story of Mahiravana. He lived deep within the earth. So some people think that's... Actually, Srila Prabhupada suggested that there's a tunnel. That if you go to Brazil, you can see in the mountains, some caves. And if you go in, you just keep on going in, you'll never come to the end. So previously there was so much gold in South America. Lanka was known as Golden Lanka, full of gold. So Srila Prabhupada suggested that between Brazil and Lanka there was a tunnel. And others have suggested that Mahiravana, he was deep in the earth, but if you go far enough, you come up in Brazil. Anyway, these are different theories. In the modern age, people are very concerned with measuring everything and getting all the facts and figures correct in every detail. But devotees, they don't worry very much about this. They don't need to dig up some old stones and get some archaeological evidence, and then they'll believe in Rama. Just like recently, there was, maybe 3 years ago, there was some idea to break the Rama Setu. That underground stones can still be seen, the bridge that Rama constructed between Bharat and Lanka. So the esteemed government of India had some brilliant plan to break that bridge so that big ships can go in between that strait. Pamban Strait, I think it's called. I don't know what they call it. So there was some protest that how can you do this? This is Rama's bridge, Rama Setu. Then we heard a statement from one of the ministers, I think, maybe it was, I can't remember who. One of the government ministers said that there's no scientific evidence that Rama ever existed. Wonderful statement. Now they made all this agitation to get the British out. What for? Just they have brown faces and they're talking like the British, that's all. But anyway, we agree. There's no scientific evidence that Rama ever existed. And there never will be any scientific evidence that Rama ever existed. Okay. Ram's not going to stand there while you measure him and take some blood samples or any such thing. We don't give a damn for your so-called stupid scientific evidence. That, what is that? Nahang prakasha sarvasa yogamaya samavrita murho yang nabijanati loko mamajamavyayam. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that the foolish people, they can never find me because they're fools, and therefore he doesn't reveal himself. Actually, there is scientific evidence, but they're not good enough scientists to recognize it. So the evidence is, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu sarva haraschaham. Bhagavan comes in the form of death and takes everything away. But people, they don't believe it. Say, I don't believe in any God. So God comes to them as death. So we don't care for all this scientists with their test tubes. Say, I didn't find God in the test tube. We looked in our telescope. We didn't see any God. Okay, so you say whatever you like. We'll see at the time of death. Meantime, we'll glorify Sri Ramachandra, and you will glorify Professor Einstein, or whoever you like. We will glorify Ramachandra. You'll see in the news so many names. Obama and Manmohan. His name doesn't come much. Obama, Manmohan, and Lalita, Jai Lalita, all these big important people. So they're very happy. Yes, I'm very big, I'm very important. And in a few days, there'll be the obituary notice. But Ramachandra, he will always be worshipped. So if these chief ministers, prime ministers, presidents, if they actually want their good fortune, they should learn from Rama how to rule. Unfortunately, they're all imitating Ravana. Actually, even Ravana, I don't think he was so sinful. At least we don't hear about abortion in Lanka. So this is very sinful, going on day after day after day. So, Rama Raja. We want Rama Raja. Srila Prabhupada said we shouldn't vote unless the leaders are going to be Krishna conscious. Unless they're going to stop calculating. Don't vote for anyone unless they're going to have a Krishna conscious government. Unfortunately, at the present time, the people have no idea what is the function of government. They should learn from Ramachandra Bhagavan that he should take charge and give security and safety to the citizens. If when you come out of your house you have to lock it, that means the government is all rascals. It means the thieves are running around and no one is catching them. See, you can put the lock on the door to stop the thieves coming, but the thieves will come and take your money, means the government will take in the form of tax. So, how can you expect the government to protect you from thieves when the government members themselves are all thieves? They're talking about this, they want to make more strict laws to protect the citizens. But who will protect the citizens from the government? So better we chant the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And pray to Krishna that may we have some decent government, that we can live peacefully as devotees. If we hear about the situation in Ayodhya, how the citizens were all living very peacefully and happily, compare that to today, then what a difference. In Ayodhya, during the reign of Lord Ramachandra, no one would even speak any lie. But nowadays, lying is just completely normal, especially for the politicians. It would be very difficult, even if you wanted to train a politician to speak the truth, it would be very difficult because they're so much accustomed to lies. So, don't be enamored by this Rakshasa civilization. In many ways, Ravana was better. You see, at least he was a Rakshasa, but he shared his enjoyment with all the other Rakshasas. But the modern leaders, they just take everything from the citizens and keep it for themselves. To get some votes, they'll give some free TV. But then they put their own TV station so that you vote for them. So it's a hopeless situation. The only hope in this miserable world is to remember the lotus feet of Krishna, of Rama. So let us remember, not just on Ram Navami, but every day we should follow sadhana, chant the holy names, hear about the pastimes and teachings of the Supreme Lord. Just understand that nothing in this world is of any significance. This world has value because Rama comes here. So in his Leela, he wandered all over this land of Bharatavarsha. Just close by, he came to Ayodhya Patanam. And he's still there in his deity form. And he's everywhere actually. People want to forget him, but if we chant his holy names, then he will immediately be present if we chant his holy names with pure devotion. The Srila Prabhupada kindly taught us to serve Rama and Krishna in pure devotion. Doing so, that will save us from this horrible condition of Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna.